Before we start today's video, I would like to first excuse myself for my voice. I have been suffering from a bad viral last 2 weeks, and the fever is gone, thankfully, but my voice is choked, and I think I've checked with the doctor, and he said it's going to take some time to get it to my normal voice. So, without wasting any more time, let's just get into the topic. There comes a situation in everyone's life when we wonder, what are we doing? We suffer from self doubt. We don't understand what should we do next. We are confused, especially for people who are walking out of colleges or are just graduating. They keep wondering what are the next career moves that we need to take, or how do we get a job, or what if we don't get a job, then what? Even for people who've been working in the corporate sector, or maybe in any other work for like 14, 15, 16 years, or in their mid career, they've accomplished a lot in their career, but during the course of this accomplishment they have been sort of like corporate slaves, or you know people who are just involved in their corporate life. There comes a point in time for these people also when they wonder, what are we going to do next? Is this that we are going to do all throughout our life? Is this what is all written for me? So they suffer from this confusion, and I know this better because I have been through it. I'm still going through this kind of a confusion stage. Some of my friends are going through it, some of my colleagues are going through it. So it is a very common thing, nothing new. And if you are going through this phase, do not worry, this is not going to stay for very long. But yes, if you're going through this phase, the best thing to do right now is to identify yourself, or your strength, weaknesses, or get a clarity of your thought process. So how we are going to do that? Today's video is all about that. Welcome to my channel. My name is Shiny Sen, and today's video is going to be something very interesting. You will have some takeaways from this video, so be prepared with a notebook and a pen, because you might need to do a little bit of an exercise with me, which is a brain work or a mind mapping exercise. I will let you know how you can do this, and this is going to help you identify yourself, give you a clarity of thought process. What are the next steps that you need to take in your next career move or your personal life? You will have a complete clarity about it. Have you heard of the term SWOT analysis? Well, people who have studied MBA, they are aware of this term. People who have been working in strategic planning also, they are also aware of this term to some extent. So I'll just tell you what SWOT analysis is. First, let us go to the full form. SWOT. SWOT stands for strength, S for strength, W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So this is the complete SWOT analysis. Companies use SWOT analysis to assess their strength, weaknesses, to understand their market position, and to understand external and internal threats and opportunities for them, so that they can build a robust strategic planning for their business. But why are we using SWOT analysis in our personal life? Well, this term, although for business we are using this, but it can be used for yourself also, for your own self introspection. So you can identify your strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. How you will do that? Let's come to the exercise first. You must be thinking, well, how can SWOT analysis be used to empower yourself? Well, here comes the interesting fact. Using a SWOT analysis, by identifying your strength, weakness, opportunities, and strength, you will see that it will have a huge impact on your personal relationships, on your career front, and your personal growth. You will have that much needed clarity which you are looking for, or which is making you confused at this stage. To do a SWOT, you need to first prepare a quadrant. So draw the quadrant. I will just show you how you can do that. In the first segment of the quadrant, you will write strength, which is on the left hand side. The second, on the right hand side of strength, you will be writing weaknesses. Below strength, you will write opportunities, and below weakness, you will write threats. Now let's come to this one by one. Strengths. Strengths can be anything which you excel at, which comes very naturally to you. So for example, negotiating might be a strength of yours. Leadership skill could be a strength of yours. Taking prompt decision could be a strength of yours. Or if you want to make it more simple, it can be as simple as writing, painting, singing, cooking, anything. So these are strengths. Or even, family oriented, loving, caring, anything which you can jot down for yourself, those are your strengths. You can either introspect, go and reflect on yourself, find out what are your strength areas. You can talk to your friends, family, and even colleagues who know you better, who are working very closely with you or living with you. They would probably know you more better, right? So they would also be able to help you identify with your strength and weaknesses. So I would not call this weaknesses, I would call these areas of improvement. So these are opportunity areas. So now that we are talking about weaknesses, weaknesses would be your opportunity areas. So areas where you can improve. How do you identify your areas of improvement? So for this, you can either self-reflect, introspect, find out what are the things which you find challenging. So for example, if I take my example, my strength would be speaking. My areas of improvement would be video editing. Or maybe, content creation is my strength. How to place that content would be my areas of improvement. Because these are your areas of improvement, I will not call them weaknesses, because weaknesses is a very negative term. I would call these areas of improvement, which means you have the scope to improve. So let's say if I'm lacking in video editing, I can always go back and take certain skill courses, certain trainings where I could learn how to edit videos. Or I could also employ people or connect with people who can help me with these video editings. Once you identify your areas of improvement, the next best thing is to go for learning or taking care of those concerned areas. How do you do that? Either you learn on your own, or you can read a lot of books. I highly advocate reading books, because if you see a lot of our YouTubers or a lot of people who we look up to for knowledge, they are high on reading. So they would always read books, they would always learn, they will be on their learning mode constantly. You can also look for mentors and coaches who can guide you through this entire process, who can guide you through your areas of improvement. And other than this, you can always continue to learn in different ways. Now that you know your areas of improvement, you can always find out your opportunities. So your opportunities would be, you know your strengths, you know your areas of improvement. What are the kind of opportunities that you can create for yourself? So let's say, for example, if someone is lacking in technological knowledge, there's a huge technological boom right now. You can go to different platforms, learn about all the technologies that are there, the ERP tools, the software, the artificial intelligence tools. So you can learn about technologies. If someone has issues with interpersonal skills, they are introverts, they can always reach out to mentors, coaches, life coaches who can guide them through that process. They might not be completely extroverts, but they can be ambiverts, where they can create networking skills based on different situations. I'm just giving two examples so you can understand basically how the opportunity, strength, and areas of improvement work. Now coming to the threats, I would technically not call this a threat. I would rather call this an area of concern. When we're talking about SWOT analysis to empower yourself, threat is a very negative term. I do not want to use any term which is negative and can have a negative impact. So let's look at it at a very positive angle. Threats can be taken as areas of concern. So, what could be your areas of concern? There could be many. So, sometimes we are not able to identify. This exercise actually will help you identify your areas of concern. So, for example, for some, traveling might be an area of concern, or maybe family bonding ties could be an area of concern where which the person probably has got a job outside the country or maybe in some other location but could not take it up because family requirements or concerns. So you can always work your way around it. So knowing your strengths could help you identify the different skill set that you have. Once you identify your different skill set, you can approach companies for different kinds of roles. You can also negotiate with them on based on the terms and conditions. You can build interpersonal relationships. You can resolve conflict in personal life. You can also help people understand their own areas of strength, areas of improvement, opportunities and concerns. Personally, for me, I also do a mind mapping, or maybe creating a to do sort of a list. So wherein I might not note down in a proper quadrant form all the strengths and weaknesses, but what I do is I do a pro and con. So I identify what are my skill sets, I identify what are the challenges I have, what are my limitations, and then I try to come up with a pro and con plan. Let's say if I do a freelancing, what are the positives, what are the negatives? If I'm working in a job, what are the positives, what are the negatives? So this kind of gives me a clarity if I want to venture out or maybe travel or do something, or even as little as getting into a personal relationship. Selecting your life partner could also be a pro and con. You can draw up a list and you can find out whether this person, what are the positives you are looking for in the person, what are the negatives of this person, and based on that you can take a decision. The reason why we do this is we need to have a clarity of thought process. You cannot take decisions whimsically. So for just to avoid taking decisions whimsically and regretting, it is always best to have a clarity of thought process. I would also suggest that if you're thinking about this too much, take a day off, sleep on it. Sometimes sleep helps a lot, and when you wake up next morning with a fresh mind, you will get a lot of clarity of the thought process. But this exercise is very important. I would highly suggest you do this kind of an exercise. Not a one time exercise, you can do it time to time in various phases of your life of different things, for different situations. Just like I mentioned, you can do it for selecting a life partner or a job, or freelancing, or even traveling, or even buying a thing. If you are making some huge investment somewhere, you can also weigh the pros and cons before doing that. So we call this a mind mapping, SWOT analysis, or weighing the pros and cons. Call it whatever you want, but it is just to provide you a clarity of thought process. If you find this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon so that you get all the notification to my latest videos. And as always, I would love to hear from you all your experiences in the comment section below. Until then, please use the SWOT analysis to empower yourself. Thank you.